I apologize that it's a little bit dark in here and the quality is not too good, but I just felt like I needed to have this conversation right now, and I just happened to be out in the shop. So today's conversation, I want to talk about role models and what it means to be a role model. And I personally believe that being a role model is a choice. It's not something that someone can bestow upon you. It's not something that you have to do. It's not something you have to be. It's not something that any amount of fame or importance can bestow upon you. You have to make that choice for yourself. And I've heard a lot of famous people deal with that problem, and I'll quote Britney Spears, for example, because she said, "I never chose to be a role model." And yeah, she became super famous, and she became super famous really fast. But being a role model is a choice that you make, and nobody can tell you that you have to make that choice either. And you're not a bad person or anything for not making that choice. But for Britney Spears, for example, she said, like, you let your own children watch me. It's your job as a parent to kind of censor your children or see what they're watching. And if you don't want them to watch me or listen to my music, then that's up to you. And I definitely stand by that. But I am somebody that's always wanted to be a role model. And I think that there is something important about that. And for me, I always grew up looking for a role model. I was always looking in every single different direction for guidance, for leadership, for somebody that had the truth, whether it was religion or a teacher or a famous person or somebody in my life. Like, I was always looking for that because I never felt like I had a role model. There was nobody to look up to in my life, whether it was a parent or a sibling or anything. There was nobody that was like living life on a good path and really being a role model or making the choice to be a role model. And so I was always left without one and looking for a role model. And so I remember being really little and thinking to myself, oh, if I'm ever famous one day, I'm going to be such a good role model for people. And sure, when I was little, I thought, okay, you have to be famous, but you can be a role model to anyone at any time. And that's a choice that you make. And I don't think that you have to wait for some kind of moment or for some kind of platform or for some kind of importance. And it's not a role that, like I said, somebody is going to bestow upon you. And I feel as if, yeah, there is no perfect moment. There's a power in the choice to be a role model and to act as a role model to people. And I feel like that power is in the action of choosing to be a role model. You're not going to just become an amazing person overnight, and you're not just going to start making a whole bunch of amazing decisions and then all of a sudden you are a role model to somebody. It's a choice that you make to guide people, to share your knowledge, to share your value, to help others understand their value, and to help others see their own knowledge, and to help others see what they're capable of achieving. And I just feel like I haven't been a good role model. Like, there's nothing that I've done that's necessarily wrong, but because I haven't been making the conscious choice every day to be a role model and to use my platform for the greater good and to help people, and I feel like I lost sight of the fact that I wanted to start this entire platform to help people like myself that didn't have a role model and didn't have anybody to look up to. And like I said, I feel like that's a choice, and I'm going to start making more choices towards that going forward. I hope to intentionally inspire people and to use my words intentionally to help guide people and to help steer them in the right direction if they're feeling lost, and to help instill those values in people, that you are worthy and that you have value and that you have worth, you are totally capable. And those are all things that I feel like you have to do intentionally. To be a role model it's a choice, and it's an intentional choice, and it comes with intentional actions of waking up every day the same way that you would wake up. And I don't want to compare it directly to religion because people would find that offensive, but the same way that you wake up and you choose to praise God, or you choose to pursue, like you choose the pursuit of being a better person, or choose the pursuit of paying it forward, or any of those things that don't necessarily have to tie to religion, but like to be a good person, it's not just something you feel, it's an action. It's what you do, it's your intentions, it's how you speak, it's how you share your value, it's how you share anything in life, it's how you pay it forward. And so I feel like those are all intentional things, and you don't have to wait for them. And like I said, I feel like there's a power in making that choice, and there's no better time than the present to be a good role model. And honestly, that includes being a good role model to yourself, honoring yourself and honoring your own worth and your own value, and waking up every morning and deciding intentionally to do what's best for you, whether that's for your mental health, your physical health, whatever it may be, your spiritual health. And so that's all I kind of wanted to share today, because I was just having that thought. And I feel like a lot of people think that being a role model is something that is exclusive to being famous or being the leader of something or something like that. But you can be a role model. You can wake up today and choose to be a role model. You can choose to be a role model for the rest of today and wake up tomorrow and feel no sense to continue. And then maybe you'll wake up in a week from now and you'll feel inspired again. And like I said, it's something that you have to choose, and it's an intentional choice. So I hope that you liked this little conversation, and hopefully I can continue with this energy moving forward, because I don't want to just create content ever just to create content. And whether it gets views or whether my content speaks to a greater volume of people is really not important in the long run. What's important to me is that I'm able to make an impact on somebody's life, or where somebody has a vacancy or a hollow in their life and they're looking for something to fill that void. Hopefully I can be that light that they needed, or be that little tiny piece of inspiration, or whatever it may be. And I keep that in mind all the time when I'm filming my videos. I feel like it's natural to me to offer advice and to offer guidance and offer any kind of wisdom that I do have, but I don't feel like I wake up every single day and think, how can I make the world a better place, and how can I make better choices to impact the people that consume my content, and how can I help them, and how can I share everything that I've learned. And I think a big part of that is not seeing my own value. And I have moments where I'm like, oh right, I'm valuable. And I feel like yesterday I was listening to, or maybe it was this morning, no, I think it was last night, I was listening to a interview with Justin Bieber, and he was talking about religion and his faith, and how if God says that he has value, then he must have value. It doesn't matter what somebody else says, and it doesn't matter what he's thinking in that moment. If God says it, it must be true. And I'm a very spiritual person. I wouldn't say I'm a very religious person anymore, but I feel like the same lesson is true. The universe has you here for a reason. You have value, and if the universe thinks that you have value, you wouldn't be here if you didn't. So I feel like it's important to honor that, and for me specifically, to stop comparing myself to other people, or waiting for a moment of success or a moment of clarity or whatever it may be. And I just felt like that was a really important thing for me to hear from Justin, was that you have value, and it doesn't really matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It's true. So that is my little extended rant for today, because this video is supposed to end 3 minutes ago. But like, hello, and I hope we can talk later. Bye.